welcome to a brand new episode of
No!
WrestleSlam the podcast. I've just robbed Matt Murphy's intro.
No!
I had to change it up. It's a brand new episode. Matt's going to sue me next week. Yet again, guys, brand new episode. We are here.
Spray bottle that when you spray a cat being misbehaving, I'll just spray the joke. I was like, no.
And I actually didn't plan that. For some reason, I just looked at the camera and I seen you, man. I was like, I have to do it. But yet again, it is a brand new episode of WrestleSlam the podcast brought to you by the McCoy Casino and in association with everybody at Sports Matters TV. It is the one and only Jerry Collin, the one and only Matt Murphy, and the one and only Phil Connolly. And we bring you a fresh episode. It is Monday, the 28th of April, 2025. Kids in 10 years' time will look back and say, look at them old fuckers 10 years ago on YouTube. You know, we're still going to look the same. We're still going to be cool. But anyway, it's all things wrestling, as always. We're going to talk WWE, TNA. We're going to touch base on All Elite briefly. And yet again, it's a big show in Ireland this week, OTT. And a massive announcement. CBL takes on Jinder Mahal. What a match. Yup Longford. It is going to be insane. And yet again, we will talk about the reckoning at the Ambassador in Dublin. Yet again, there's a few tickets on sale. I think it's pretty much sold out, but there may be a handful left. So get over and get your tickets, but we'll have the links in a bit. So yet again, WWE, we're going to go straight in. It's been an interesting week. We've seen Becky Lynch recently turn on Lyra Valkyria, and she's going to be on Raw tonight, pretty much talking about why she's done it. Rusev is back. Aleister Black is back.
Yeah.
We've got all that as well. That's interesting. And also there's a new movie that we want to talk about featuring a WWE superstar who came back with a bang and disappeared when people needed him most at WrestleMania. So we're talking about comebacks first. They're well worth starting off the show with. Rusev is back. Aleister Black is back. Phil, I'm going to go to you first. The return of two big names. How far will they go? Will they go a step further? Will they win titles? Will they disappear off the scene in 2 years? Who's going to be the one to do it? Who's going to be the one that won't do it? Or will they both do it?
It's really weird because they introduced both of them the exact same way. And none of them got a reaction. I think Aleister Black actually got the worst reaction on SmackDown. But again, you're putting him in there with likes of The Miz on SmackDown for Aleister Black. And I don't think people might have rolled their eyes when they saw, oh God, he's fighting The Miz, okay. It's kind of definition of filler. I'd like to see where they go, but the start doesn't look promising. Aleister Black is very talented, as we know, and he's still selling that eye that he did years ago. I noticed that, but I think he's very good. I just think there's something about getting off to a good start, and that wasn't a good start. I don't think people are invested in a Miz and Aleister Black feud in 2025.
Yeah. I'm invested with Aleister Black because I was not just excited about his debut when he was feuding with Big E. It was just the lore that he had about his character and everything like that. I was like, I'm looking forward to see what they do with this. We didn't. Hopefully we keep things left off. And I said this before, even John Cena himself said it. The most underrated wrestler in WWE will always be The Miz. And now that when you said that he's going to be used as filler, it's just going to be upsetting. It was like, is that The Miz? Now I'm using as, you're going to be feuding with The Miz, and that's just it. But no, I trust with the WWE program, they're going to do something well with Aleister.
Well, if you look at the John Cena stuff in comparison where he came out on Cody Rhodes just in the last few weeks, I don't want to watch Aleister Black come out every week and assault The Miz. Next week, Johnny Gargano. The next week, it just becomes repetitive.
It does. It's look, I'm happy. I'm happy they're back. But yeah, it does. Is it going to be the case?
You need to do something creative with them, like just do something to get us to care. I suppose is the big. the big word there.
Yeah. I was on Twitter, so obviously went onto Twitter and
Yeah.
obviously seen the response when Rusev came back, and then seeing the response, obviously, Aleister Black back. It's interesting, like, to see what will happen. Obviously, looked at two stars, two quite, they're quite young, to be fair to that. You know what I mean? They've got many years ahead, but Rusev was an absolute force to be reckoned with. And same with Aleister Black. Obviously, they both went to All Elite Wrestling and completely got lost. We've seen more of Aleister Black in All Elite than we did Rusev / Miro. But fans kind of seem happy that they are back. Some fans are kind of criticizing it, saying they're not needed on that roster.
Yeah.
That they left for a reason. Now, I know there's different ownership. I know Triple H is involved and stuff, but it will be interesting to see what does happen. I'm looking forward. I'm a big Rusev fan. And I'm just curious to see what happens. You know, I generally have this gut feeling that Rusev is going to win something big in the next 12 months. I just have that feeling that it's going to be a little slow start, but somewhere along the line he'll get a good storyline and he'll win something big in the next 12 months. Not sure what Aleister Black's going to do. You know what I mean? I think he'd be a great Intercontinental Champion. Do I see him as a World Heavyweight Champion? Yeah, I do. Not a WWE Champion, but yeah.
I'm not sure this is official, but I would actually love to see if Buddy Matthews, if he came back and he teams up with Aleister Black and they take on the New Day, because you know, with Triple H, he's aware that WWE is not the only place. Everyone already knows about the outside talents, so having them coming back to take on the tag titles will be kind of like will be something that they can definitely use for the both of them. So at least it won't be a random like debut. No, they actually have a plan for them. Like,
You know, the issue I have with all this, right? Has the tide shifted now back 5 years, like where everyone now wants to leave all of these? Because Mariah May is the next one that's going to be jumping across.
Well, that's a big jump. I suppose she's not been at WWE yet, you know. So I think that's a big jump.
No, but like,
big
you remember the time there where WWE was unbearable and everyone wanted to leave. I think it's now gone the other way.
Yeah, it has. It has. You know, it's well, a lot's changed, as you know, as you say. Look, you look at WWE now. It's under new ownership. It's being run by TKO. Triple H is involved. You know, good connections. I think Maria May jumping is a big one. I think that's something that we'd all love to see. I have this weird feeling. Matt just mentioned Buddy Matthews. I think he's on the verge of coming back. But Pac, I think Pac is going to come back. I think he left. He could have left on good terms. You know, when he had, you know, he was like great. I remember some of his last matches in WWE. He was incredible.
Yeah.
He was called Neville. Yeah, Neville. So like, you know, he. I think Pac is on the way back as well. I think we could see some big things, but.
Yeah,
I would love them to introduce a belt that's legit. It's a fucking good belt.
I'd actually love an international belt, but only international superstars can fight for it. No Americans can fight for this belt.
I can.
Sorry. Yeah.
I don't know. When you mentioned about Pac coming back, now this is gonna be a wrong way. I can see him coming back on NXT, because. I remember when he was on NXT, he actually preferred it. Not saying that, he's going to be sent to developmental. No, it is because maybe that'll be a good place for him to actually come back and maybe he'll remind everyone about how much NXT means to him, why he deserves the title. Buddy Matthews, I can see, and it makes sense because Rhea Ripley as well. So there'll be a lot more, they can travel more together and everything else like that. Like, so that more names like.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a few comebacks. Yeah, I think the shift is changing for the back to your point there as well. I think Matt definitely hit the nail on the head as well. Buddy Matthews yet again. I think that shift is changing. Yeah. I think they're looking at All Elite right now. They have great pay-per-views, but I think the house shows are doing so well.
And TV is just a disaster.
Yeah, and things are on the up at WWE because the world is their oyster now. Obviously, you know, collaborating with TNA. You know, now they have Triple A as well. You know, it's everything starting to come together for them, and it seems they all want to work with Triple H, and he's kind of getting a decent balance this day and age, isn't he? The balance has been good.
Yeah, exactly. You know? It's just again I think the only real negative energy come from WWE is the price of tickets, and that's that's always going to be there, no matter who, no matter what the situation is.
Yeah, it's I'll tell you something, lads. If I had a kid, which I do, but if my son or one of my kids turned around and said to me, Dad, I want to go to WrestleMania, I'd be saying, yeah, we'll go in 5 years' time. Let me save up for the next 5 years, and we'll go when you're 15 and not 10. It's hard. It is costly, especially for the Europeans. Now, yet again, they do bring shows to Europe now. We were lucky to get Money in the Bank, Clash at the Castle on 2 occasions, or 3 occasions maybe, but yeah, look, we're definitely getting closer to something big. Obviously, SmackDown will be live in Dublin in a couple of months. We're getting there. There's a slow process, and I think Mania will happen. I think Mania 43 or 44 will be London, and I'm going to say that again. WrestleMania 43, 44 will be in London, England. It's going to come. I'm telling you, mark my words, and that'll be our moment of ecstasy, a moment of joy. So yet again, as I said, we record the show, guys, Monday. The show goes out Tuesday, so it's Monday, the 28th of April. Just ahead on Raw tonight, we have Rhea Ripley battles Roxanne Perez. That'll be a great match. Becky Lynch will discuss her attack on Lyra. Logan Paul to appear live on Raw. Also, Seth Rollins, Braun Breaker, and Paul Heyman will address their actions, and there'll be a lot more on that as well. But we had a loss in the wrestling world, and yet again, we remember Steve Mongo McMichael, a guy that we'd remember most fondly in WCW. He passed away after a long illness, but highly regarded. I remember him in WCW, just an interesting guy, always looked cool. And it's a big loss to the wrestling world. And of course, he's got a Super Bowl ring. People forget that. Like, he played with the Chicago Bears, and he made 2 Pro Bowl teams as well. But obviously, he had some big matches throughout the years. Had a good NFL career, and obviously born 1957, passed away in the last number of days. So we like to remember Steve Mongo McMichael and his contribution to wrestling. There's many topics we're going to squeeze in prior to the end of the show, but TNA, yet again, there's a lot of stuff going on with Joe Hendry at the moment. They had a massive pay-per-view there. Phil, what was your thoughts on, I suppose, the crossover? Obviously, we know Hendry was attacked at the end of TNA, but thoughts on Hendry at the moment? I think he's WWE bound. I just have that feeling he's going to make that crossover.
I actually went and looked into this online, and I trying to find out the story about him. Apparently, he has over a year left on his TNA deal.
Yeah, which can be squashed.
Well, I think he'll just continue to do what he's doing now until it deals up. I think he'll go back and forth.
Yeah.
People have to realise as well that Joe Hendry has been around a while. He's not new to this. Like, remember he was in CCW in Cork. Probably
he was in Cork twice. Yeah.
Yeah, 2014 maybe. Ish.
Yeah. We actually passed him.
A few times. Yeah.
Which is bizarre. He was next to us, and we probably said, "Who's that guy?" And I'm not trying to be like that. That was obviously we were observant to everyone, but like it's one of them things where he could have been right next to us, and we would have like, "Oh, that's the guy."
But he looked different as well. He didn't have the bleach blonde hair. He kind of had brown.
Yeah, brown hair,
and it was just.
And what I did see, like, with Jay's interview, was like, what kind of funny is he actually just treated wrestling as a hobby. I think he said it beforehand. And then he escalated, and it was like very late on. He was like, I actually want to pursue this full time. Like, so that was kind of really that he was like, this is a hobby. Now it's like, might as well give it a shot and actually get jobs out of this. Like,
but like, somebody who watches TNA a lot with him as champion, I don't think him as world champion is working at the moment. That's due to a lot of factors, because there's not enough legitimate heels.
He's getting serious pops at the moment. It's just and they've definitely capitalized on it. To be honest, I think they're obviously working with it, which is great.
Yeah.
WWE
are getting used to introducing him to their audience, so by the time he actually does sign with them, people will know who he is.
Yeah. Because I remember when because of course I couldn't make last week's episode, But when I saw Joe Hendry actually come back and actually took on Randy Orton. I wouldn't say I was like I'm delighted. I was like a bit confused. I was like, wait, what? Why? And I think it's because they know the popularity that he's been given, and that was kind of like so crazy about it. I was like
I,
delighted to see him having his moment, but I was also like,
I looked into
people,
that after last week's show. Apparently, Randy picked him.
Yeah, I heard that too. That's
Yeah,
the rumor. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Randy sees potential. You pick it. I'm quickly going to go through just the matches, please, because obviously there's a lot of TNA fans that watch the show.
Yeah.
So obviously Rebellion 2025, Fatal Influence defeated Rosemary, Isaiah Brookside, and Lee Yin Lee via pinfall. Elijah defeated Shane Hast via pinfall. Moose defeated Casey Navarro, Leon Slater, Mark Cardona, Elijah Del Vigingo, and Sidney Akeem.
Just a bit on this match, right? There was a spot in this match that was actually insane by Leon Slater.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
I've seen it on Twitter, yeah.
Yeah, he completely missed every wrestler.
Yeah. Sounds like him.
And
He's incredible.
You would see how high he was up as well.
Yeah, he's got great athleticism, though. He's the kind of fella that could do all sorts of stuff. He reminds you of like Ricochet.
Yeah, and he's only 20 as well.
Yeah, he's a great star.
He's been in OTT for years as well.
He has, yeah, and I think he'll probably see him at RCW in due course too. I think there's when he comes back to the UK, there's a bit of leadway there, so I won't be surprised if we see him at RCW as well. Great maneuver though. He's lucky that he didn't break.
He's lucky he wasn't killed, to be honest.
Yeah, he's well trained. He knows how to do it. Ash by Elegance and Heather by Elegance. They defeated the Meta-4. Ace Austin and the Rascals. Sean Waltman was there, aka X-Pac, defeated the System. Steve Macklin defeated Eric Young. That was a singles match for the TNA International Championship. Mike Santana defeated Mustafa Ali.
Best match on the show, that one.
Yeah, it was. I seen the kind of highlight reel in that one.
Even that spot there with Tasha Steele's off the apron through the table was nuts.
Yeah, it is. I do like Mike Santana. He's a man.
I think he's going to be world champion in the next year. I think
he's got a great look about him, doesn't he? Obviously, look, he used to. I think he was a heavyweight champion in House of Glory, which
I suppose got a great backstory. People can relate to with his addictions.
Yeah, no, he's the real deal. But it's a guy to watch out for, Mike Santana. We give you props, my friend. And I'd like to see this guy in RCW in due course and OTT. Singles match for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. Masha Slamovic defeated Tessa Blanchard by submission, which was a great win for Masha. The next one, Nick and Ryan Nemeth defeated the Hardy Boys via pinfall. They are the new tag team champions. And Joe Hendry defeated Frankie and Ethan Page via pinfall, a three-way for the TNA World Championship.
Can I just mention this match there briefly, just 1 second?
Yeah.
Basically, this was Frankie Kazarian's Money in the Bank briefcase. Well,
yeah,
to call it so basically he cashed it in a three-way match, and not even during the match. It was like before. It was like what? It's very confusing, especially because he's a heel.
Yeah.
Like, he should be coming out at the end of a match winning it.
I agree.
Very, 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 very strange. I get it.
Why do you think they've done that? Is it just they don't want to replicate WWE, or is it just their way of doing things, or I
was trying to get my head around it, and I honestly thought it was because they had no match for the show, essentially.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think they're creating like possibilities with Money in the Bank. So it's obvious you see like a Money in the Bank match in anything else that's not WWE related. Okay, they copy and paste, but I think it's an official thing, like a steel cage or like a no disqualification match. It's going to be like a more separate wrestling thing. Like,
yeah, I'm actually a fan of Money in the Bank. So I actually was hoping they'd scrap it.
Yeah.
I just think it's tired, and I think it's time to change it up. Do something with it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Will they change it up?
Well, it's 20 years old this year. It was 20 years old a couple of weeks back there. Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
There's been some good ones though over the years. You know what I mean?
Oh no, there has been, but it's just I think it's just tired concept.
Yeah.
Because like we Money in the Bank there now in early June, and I if it was me, I'd put John Cena in the match and have John Cena win the briefcase so no one can cash in on him.
He might do it.
It's true.
Because he just wants to ruin wrestling.
Yeah, exactly.
So
do something different. Do something different with it, like.
Yeah.
That's
good. Yeah.
How's after WrestleMania? How's everyone feeling with Cena's run as a heel?
Not very good.
No.
No, sure that was we were on about last week. It was so flat that ending.
Yeah.
And also as well, why is he also lying on his back every week the same way with his hands out and his legs wide open?
Yeah, I think that's like a running joke now. But I was delighted to see that Cena actually won the match against Cody in such a heel way and everything like that. But it did end like I feel like suddenly.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It was really weird. Actually, it was actually rated one of the worst Mania main events by Meltzer.
Ooh, and when Meltzer says that,
I think he gave it 1 point something.
What a dick!
It wasn't that good. To be fair, it wasn't very good. It really,
but it's what everyone wanted, though. It's what everyone wanted. Everyone wanted to see
it is what it is. I think people were more pissed off with The Rock.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a nice thing into because we didn't get talked about last week. Because I don't think it was on, was it? But The Rock apparently was on Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
After we aired our show, I think it was on the Tuesday. I think. Rock talking about like there's so many holes in what he was. Did you listen to what he was on about?
I haven't, no, but I know that he's definitely on it though.
He basically said that WWE called him up to say ticket sales are really bad for Elimination Chamber. Can you come in? And then he said, "Okay, I'll come in." And then he was like, "I'm only doing that show, and that's it."
Yeah.
Why do all this whole angle then, if that's the case?
With why he's seen a journey force with The Rock.
Yeah, like why do all that? Like people got invested for nothing, and then they were slapped in the face when there was no payoff.
Yeah. You think that maybe John Cena's reason is because, like, it's kind of obvious, like, why he turned heel, because people just booed him and criticized and all that. I was like, understandable. If I spent 25 years of people still booing me, talking shit about me, like, I was like, I'll be pretty odd as well. But it's just the fact that he never even touched on The Rock. Like, maybe The Rock pulled him aside and said, I was the exact same way when I first came to WWE, but I turned against them, and now I looked out for me.
I think there's definitely a falling out there somewhere between the WWE and The Rock.
Yeah, see, more will come to light, maybe.
Like that interview, you should go back and have a listen to it because it's Rock talking the most utter bullshit for about 20 minutes.
I'm gonna listen to it anyway.
You should, because I actually couldn't believe some of the stuff he was saying about that he's coming in to do tickets, and then he's on about this is the greatest angle in the history of professional wrestling. It's like I don't see it, like, and I've watched wrestling for 30 years, and I just after hearing what he said there, he just ruined the whole thing.
Yeah, interesting. We could talk about a lot of The Rock. Yeah, he's just. I don't know.
There is actually a bit of news, actually. Did you see this Eric Bischoff and Hogan video?
Yeah, interesting. Whatever it is.
The third man is coming. Black and white thing. It was actually really well done. I actually have a theory that I think it's Hogan's doing a podcast.
Makes sense, doesn't it? He's doing so much around America. Like if you're a typical American right now in America, you could see Hulk Hogan every weekend in the shopping center just signing autographs, and it's free.
Yeah,
you know.
Chelsea Green says goodbye to WWE for now. Chelsea Green has left WWE for now. We'll see. I guess sometimes because I don't think she's American, maybe she's dealing with visa issues.
Yeah, maybe. She's Canadian, is she?
Yeah.
Maybe she is. Maybe she has to renew it.
It's kind of funny you mentioned about Chase again. All this random, but for so long we were talking about WWE superstars coming on board. Matt Cardona was always in talks to come back to WWE. But it's kind of obvious. He said that I'll come back only one condition. I am not going to be Zack Ryder. I'm going to be Matt Cardona.
Yeah.
Do you think that's
they'll accept that. Yeah, I think they.
The biggest news of the week that I take anyway, because I thought this would never ever happen ever again. Konnan is back with WWE. Did you see this? Konnan is back with WWE. So apparently he's going to be on the creative team after WWE bought AAA.
Yeah.
But Konnan it's a massive thing, because remember there were stories like he's never going to come here. He's blacklisted.
I'd love to see him doing something with Dominic Mysterio.
100% I would as well. Yeah.
As in there with him, walking out to the ring with him, giving him the pep talk, causing shit backstage.
Yeah.
I'm all for Konnan doing that. And I remember doing an interview with him years ago, and I'm telling you could listen to his voice all day.
Oh, he's a man. And he was the very first podcast that I listened to be honest with you.
Yeah, he's the man. He is the man. Konnan, we have to get you back on before we can't get you back on. So, Konnan is the man, and it'd be great to see him back involved, definitely, with WWE.
So, I know a lot of people was worried that it was going to be like AEW buying Ring of Honor. That Ring of Honor is kind of more like an underground, kind of like it does whatever it wants. But when AEW bought them, they have to be more mainstream. I know a lot of people are worried about that with AAA, with WWE, that it's going to be more mainstream. They're going to be like in our face like every week. I feel like that is kind of reasonable, that they want to bring on more Lucha Libre wrestlers on board to show them more wide. They can actually make it work.
But this is the start of it.
Yeah,
we can see this time next year, Phil. Yeah, this time next year, New Japan and WWE.
I've actually
heard over the top wrestling.
I've heard some rumblings that New Japan are in trouble, so do not be surprised if WWE buy New Japan in the next 18 months.
They'll buy New Japan Pro Wrestling. They'll buy OTT.
New Japan is in big trouble for wrestling stars at the moment. Like they're all leaving. Like there's a couple of main stars leaving there now in the next few weeks.
So, I don't know if you saw the Instagram post of The Rock. I can't remember what he was doing, but he was wearing a New Japan Pro Wrestling T-shirt.
So that's planting the seed, man, as you know.
Yeah.
Speaking of Rock, he's got a new film out.
Fighting Machine.
The trailer hits tomorrow morning, I think.
Yeah.
He doesn't even look like The Rock. Have you seen the pictures?
I saw the poster. I saw the official poster.
Yeah, he doesn't look like The Rock at all. It's kind of mad.
True story too.
Yeah.
True story.
But who's The Rock playing actually in it?
Frank. What's his name? Frank. It's Frank something. It's not Frank Mir, but it's. I'm not a big UFC fan from the early in the 90s. I just know
he is playing Mercer.
Okay.
So Mercer. It's going to be interesting. True story. Mercer, obviously, he had his troubles. Kind of, he's on the mend, I suppose, these last couple of years. But it's going to be big. The Rock looks immense. He looks huge. True story. It's going to be a great film. When's it being released? What day?
The next 8 months, I think. So Oscar season. So you might see a Rock up for an Oscar to come next year.
Can't wait for that. We'll have more details on that. So quickly, just before we wrap up, as we have 3 minutes, yet again, over the top wrestling, guys. It is back with a bang as always, and the match that every match everyone's looking forward to, but the match everyone is talking about is the Bull Yup Longford CBL takes on former WWE champion Jinder Mahal. It is going to be incredible, guys. I think tickets are very limited, so grab them if you can and witness an incredible night in Ireland yet again, and it's going to be incredible. It's a big card, we're looking forward to it, and yet again, the Bull CBL takes on former WWE champion Jinder Mahal. He was looking to take on JBL, John Bradshaw, Layfield, but it's Jinder Mahal. What a match! And CBL in Ireland, the Bull.
Him and JBL.
Yup,
Longford. We're looking forward to that.
I just want to end on one thing that I actually forgot all about, and I just think we have a minute left to mention it.
Yeah.
John Cena met his hero or truth met his childhood hero, John Cena.
I'm going to be just like him when I'm older.
I just wanted to mention that because that was just in my. I know we've a minute left, and I just wanted to get it in there.
Yeah, no, that was class. It was fantastic. When I grew up, I just want to be like John Cena, and then R-Truth's like 50 odd. What a legend!
Yeah,
he's great. You have to keep him, and he's been there so long, guys, isn't he? He's a great guy.
I just remember my favorite moment was when he was at Judgment Day, and he said to Damian Priest, "Was like, you're like my older brother, man," and Damian Priest was like, "I'm younger than you."
Yeah, he's comical. He's class. Yet again, guys, that is another episode. It's Ireland's longest running wrestling podcast. It is WrestleSlam, brought to you by the Macau Casino and in association with Sports Matters TV. We'll be back next week. I think we have Derek from Irish Wrestle Talk on with us next week. He's going to talk all things WrestleMania as he was there. And he's got a video up, I think, today, a vlog of his trip to Las Vegas and at WrestleMania. But from myself, Jerry Collin, from the one and only Phil Conley, from the one and only Matt Murphy. Thank you, as always, for tuning our way. We hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back next week with a brand new and fresh episode. Until then, we'll see you soon, guys. It's WrestleSlam the podcast. Thank you.
Pressure squeeze. Cheers, guys.